morning. Good morning. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers. And my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping to get organized, get focused, get consistent in their business. If that is you, I am here for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session with me so we can go through your business and talk about what's happening. But before we get into that, I want to invite you to our topic for today, which is talking about the different categories to sell products on Amazon. So, what are those categories and how do I figure out what I can and cannot do? So, just before we get into the discussion about categories, I do want to invite you to go to the e-commerce planning Facebook group. And in the e-commerce planning Facebook group, you can download the daily, weekly, and monthly e-com planning checklist. That'll get you going so that you can follow along today. After we talk about the Amazon categories, we're going to go straight into the daily planning checklist. So go and download that now. Go into the e-commerce planning Facebook group, go to the files section and download the daily, weekly, and monthly planning checklist. So with that, let's talk about the Amazon selling categories. So Amazon does have a lot of different categories in which you can sell products. Some of those categories have different guidelines and different rules, so you want to be aware of those. So these are the categories that don't have restrictions, and I'm going to say that with sort of an asterisk or quotation marks in the air, because they may have some restrictions for specific brands, or there may be some secondary categories. And what I mean by restrictions, it means that you may be able to sell products in that specific category, but there might be a specific brand or there might be a specific secondary category that you or subcategory that you may not be able to sell products in. So the primary category, Amazon has primary categories, and then they do have secondary categories or subcategories within the primary categories. If you ever do a Google search on Amazon bestsellers and you go to, you click on one of the categories, you'll see that there is a subcategory or a secondary category under that category. And then if you expand it again in that category, there might be another category underneath that. So it's sort of layered. I'm going to give you an example. On the screen, we're live on Clubhouse. We're live on Clubhouse. We're also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. So then you can see my screen in the e-commerce planning Facebook group if you want to sort of follow along. But I'm going to use the example of beauty. Beauty is one of those categories that is considered open, and that means that you can sell products in that category. Sort of. If you sell products in that category of beauty, they must be classified as new. Can't sell used, so you don't want to list a product as used in the beauty category on Amazon. All right. So within that beauty category, there's some specific types of products that you may have to get approval to be able to sell, and or some specific brands. Since we're talking about beauty, we could say that Maybelline could be a specific brand because it's a popular and well-known brand that you may be required to request approval. Okay. And there's going to be a session where we talk about how to request approval on Amazon. But again, Amazon is a category in which you may have to request approval. Not Amazon, the secondary category or the brand of Maybelline, you may be required to request approval under Maybelline for that specific brand. So as you look at this list, they have listed that you can sell Amazon device accessories as new. You can also sell them as used. They're saying it's open, but again, there's going to be some level of potential approval for brands or subcategories. Amazon Kindle, you can sell those devices as used. Beauty says you can sell as new. Books you can sell as new or used. I will tell you, books again is another one that can get caught up. You can get caught up on, because unless you're a publisher, you could get into trouble for selling a book as new on Amazon. So you want to sell your books as used. We have a whole workshop inside of eCom Sellers Academy where we talk about that. Then you have business products where you're doing B2B. You can sell new and used. Beauty and tools and accessories, you can sell those as new. Again, we're going to put quotation marks in the air. Camera and photo, you can sell new or used. Cell phones, it says you can sell new, used, or unlocked. Again, there's going to be some additional steps you'll probably have to follow, and we'll get into those in just, or some of them, not all of them. Clothing and accessories, that says you can sell them as new on Amazon. And again, you have to be mindful of brands. So we've mentioned brands at the beginning of this whole discussion. Electronics, accessories, it says you can sell them as new and used. Fashion and jewelry, he says you can sell that as new. Again, there's going to be some specific things under there. I'm just kind of giving you the ones that I already know. There's some extra stuff you're going to have to do. Grocery and gourmet food, again, you must sell food as new. You can't sell it as used. And you want to be mindful of that category as well, because there's going to be specific brands underneath there. Home and garden, you can sell those products as new, used, or collectibles. Now, under home and garden, there's a bunch of secondary and or subcategories that fall up under there. So just want you to be aware of that. And then, sorry, I moved ahead. Luggage and travel accessories, you can sell those as new. Yeah, there's going to be some specific brands. Musical instruments, you can sell them as new, used, or collectible. Office products, new, used, or collectible. And make sure that if you're selling office products as used, like it makes logical sense. Don't sell like a ream of paper as used. Okay. Outdoors, outdoor sports and cycling and all of that says you can sell new and used. Shoes, handbags, and glasses says you can sell them as new. Software and computer games says you can sell them as new and used. Sports says you can sell new, used, and collectible. Tools and home improvement, you can sell new as used. Toys, you can sell as new and used, and it says, new and collectible. Toys, they do have, if you go to the Sell on Amazon page, it will tell you that there's a holiday selling requirement that you need to apply for. So that we'll talk about that in another session, what that is and what that means and what they've done in the past versus what they're doing now. Video games and video game controllers, consoles, new, used, and collectible. Now, categories with restrictions. There are several categories that have restrictions. There may be restrictions because of hazmat, because they're potentially illegal to sell online. So various reasons as to why there are restrictions, and or that there may be secondary categories or subcategories where you have to get additional approval. So some of these may have, like I said, secondary subcategories that you need to be concerned about. So categories with restrictions are alcohol, clearly. You want to go read what Amazon Seller Central says about that. And it says you can sell it as new. But again, there's some restrictions. Animal related products says you can sell it as new. Go read the restrictions. Automotive and power sports. Again, they have new, used, and collectible. Baby products, definitely go and check out baby products. Says you can sell them as new. Beauty topicals. Now, we were just looking at beauty before, so this is a subcategory underneath beauty, which is topicals, and I mentioned that before, and this is new. Certified refurbished, that's going to really apply to some of the computers and electronics and things like that, and that type of equipment. And they have some guidelines around that. Collectible coins says you can sell them as collectibles, but again, you want to follow the guidelines around that. Cosmetics, skin and hair care says you can sell them as new. Again, that's going to be one of those sub or secondary categories. Dietary supplements says you can sell them as new. Definitely never sell supplements as used. Drugs and drug paraphernalia. Again, you want to go read what that says and what that means so that you don't get yourself in trouble. But if you are approved to be able to sell those things, you can sell those as new. Electronics says you can sell them as new. Guidelines around that. Entertainment, collectibles. Says you can sell them as a collectible. Explosive weapons and related items says you can sell them as new. Fine art says you can sell them as collectibles. Gambling and lottery says you can sell them as new. Grocery and gourmet food says you can sell them as new. Again, I know that there are a lot of brand restrictions under there in certain types of foods. Handmade, you have to go through a process to get approved to be able to sell in the handmade category. Hazardous and dangerous items, again, there's a whole section on hazard and dangerous, but there are some products that you can sell, and you want to know what they are. You want to know what those guidelines are, and you want to follow those guidelines, and you can sell those things as new. Health and personal care, again, says you can sell it as new. And a lot of these are like, the ones that I'm reading off, some of them are secondary categories under the primary category or subcategories under the primary category. Historical and advertising collectibles. You can sell them as collectible human parts and burial artifacts. I would just go read that. I'm not even going to say what it says you can sell it as. Industrial and scientific says you can sell it as new. And again, you want to follow those guidelines around that. Next is jewelry and precious gems. Says you can sell them as new. Laser products. Again, you definitely want to read that. Don't get yourself in trouble. There's a lot of different products that are like, oh, what are those things? Drones that have lasers on it. You don't want to get yourself in trouble because that's a whole several layers of trouble that you're inviting yourself into if you do that. But you want to follow those guidelines, and you can sell it as new. Lighting says you can sell it as new. Lock picking and theft devices. I'm not even going to read that. I would just say you need to go and check it out so that you know what you can and cannot do. Medical devices and accessories, again, go and read that so you know what you can and cannot do. Medications, we already talked about drugs on the other one. So again, these are all sub or secondary categories under a primary category. And as I mentioned before, these are things you want to be aware of. Music, it says you can sell them as new, used, and collectible. Offensive and controversial materials, I would just go read that. I would not tell you what you can and cannot do there. Organic products. Again, this is the list from Amazon's Sell on Amazon site. This is not the list that I randomly made up. This is the real list on their site. If you go to Amazon, if you go to Sell on Amazon, you will find this list. Okay, and then there's hyperlinks when you go to that list. So you'll be able to go directly to what they say so that you can be mindful of it. Organic products says you can sell them as new. Pesticides says you can sell them as new. Again, you want to go read that. Pet food, definitely go read that. You can sell them as new. Plants, plant products and seeds, you can sell those as new. Postage, meter, and stamps, you can sell those as new. Sex and sensual products, you can sell those as new, and you're going to go read the guidelines around that. Sports collectibles, you can sell those as new, as collectibles. Subscription and periodicals. So you have the opportunity to set up subscriptions on Amazon. So if you are a private label seller or white label seller, if you've got a subscription box, definitely throw it up because you have the opportunity to sell those things. But you need to follow the guidelines on what they say. And if you have those products that are like replenishables, people buy all the time, like supplements, you can set up subscriptions for their supplements if people are buying supplements from you. So surveillance equipment, you definitely want to go read that. It says you can sell it as new. Tobacco and tobacco related products. Again, I would just go read that so that you don't get yourself in trouble and don't assume what you can and cannot do. Topicals, we've talked about that. I use that as one of the first examples. Again, anything that you're ingesting or anything that you're putting on your skin, those are products that you're probably going to have to go through a few different layers of approval to be able to sell those specific products. Video, DVD, and Blu-ray says you can sell them as new. Used collectible watches says you can sell them as new, but you're going to have to go through the approval process. And I will say, of the approval process to be able to sell watches, it's actually pretty fast and pretty easy. And then warranties, service plans, contracts, guarantees says not applicable. So this is what I will say. All of these categories and restricted and or categories, secondary, whatever, they all kind of give you some insight into what are the types of products you can sell on Amazon. If you want to take a deeper dive into those, definitely go into Amazon, sell on Amazon.com. Some of these we will cover only because they are popular and or common categories like replenishables or consumables. We sell those because those are definitely products that will help you to get regular recurring income. So as we step through this list, be thinking about what is it that I potentially want to sell if you don't already know what you want to sell on Amazon, so that you know that there are some guidelines around some of these categories and secondary categories, specific products categories. So hope you'll join us tomorrow. I believe that we're going to be talking about scanning products to see what category they're in and some other specific things about those particular products. So definitely tune in or watch the next video regarding what products and how to scan them. And we will say goodbye for now. Thanks for joining us.